Hello and welcome to today's live coaching call and community conversation. Today we're going to be talking about fasting, as we usually do here in our community. And I'm going to help you differentiate between fasting and just not eating. And there is a clear distinction. And for some people, that's okay. And for others, it may not be. So we're going to talk about that today during our discussion. As always, please feel free to use the comment section. This is a live community conversation, or if you're catching this on the rebroadcast, you can always leave comments as well. I always make sure I circle back around to answer those. But this is your time to get your questions answered and or share your experiences with fasting. We always love hearing success stories as well. I always like to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Diane Parham. I am the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. It is a course that I have put together based on my experience as a woman going through perimenopause, menopause, and now postmenopausal, and all the struggles that I had and how I reversed them and how I pay that forward and teach that to you if you're interested in doing that as well. Registration is open for our next course, which will start on December 31st. You can hit the link in the description box, or you can private message me and I'll get you all the information as well. So let's get started on today's discussion. If you're joining us on YouTube and you haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button. That way you can communicate with us in our comment section. If you're joining us on YouTube, please make sure, or Facebook, please make sure that you're following and you're set up for notifications. So when we go live, you'll get that little ping message and you can jump on as a reminder when you get notified. Okay, so let's rock and roll. So there is a difference between being in a fasted state and just not eating. And I think the difference is where so many women, especially aging women transitioning through hormonal seasons, are really getting themselves tripped up and very frustrated with the results that they're not getting based on what's being advertised by the person who's speaking to them. And this is a clear distinction that we really focus on inside the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, because it is the biggest aha moment and the biggest breakthrough women in our community are having. Remember, menopause in all seasons and phases of it is just a transition through a hormonal season. And all of our hormones are really interconnected, right? They ebb and flow with one another. So when one hormone is off or out of balance, others try to compensate. For a lot of us here, that is estrogen dropping off naturally as we go through hormonal changes. And then what generally happens, and I say generally because I am not a doctor, just a person who has studied this, experienced it, and then get feedback from the women in our community, insulin tends to be the problem that most of us have that we don't even realize because we think just the weight is the problem. So when I was going through this transition, I ended up becoming a pre-diabetic, and I noticed there's a question in our comment section here, and it was simply because my hormones were changing. I did nothing different than I had been doing for decades before. And as it was a certified health and wellness coach, a certified fitness coach, all the things experienced with coaching women through weight loss and physique changes and all the things, I still ended up a pre-diabetic simply because my hormones were changing. So this is where fasting has become such a powerful tool for so many of us, because it, for the first time in my life, and I know for a lot of the women here in this community, especially graduates of our community, this is the first time we get to actually do nothing and our body pays us back. So why are you fasting is always the first question that we need to answer for ourselves in a very honest way, because this is going to matter when you're determining the fasting protocol that you want to practice. And in here, we really do want to incorporate a fasting lifestyle that will stand the test of time. So we're changing lifestyle habits, we're changing our mindset, we're changing how we show up for ourselves, so we don't have to continually battle this weight loss struggle and the battle that we have in our head mentally and emotionally with our physique, weight loss, and quite frankly, aging and what that does to us, right? And so this really matters. Why are you fasting in the first place? So for me, I started fasting literally with the mindset of, I'm going to do this to save my life, because I didn't like the road that I was going on as I was getting into this second season of my life, right? So I didn't like the changes that were happening naturally. So I decided to step in and take control of them. So that's really why I started fasting. So I went in hard, I went in clean, and I went in with like not questioning anything about what a fasted state could do and be. So clean fasting is the best for autophagy, and autophagy we know is the cellular turnover and healing of our body, which is why most of us end up in these sticky situations as we transition through these hormonal changes, is because our body is just backed up. And when our body is backed up and our cells are not working well, then we start to age. The beautiful thing is we have the power and the opportunity to return ourselves back to an ageless kind of self, right? Or reverse some of these signs of aging and reverse a lot of the aging signs, because we can take advantage of what autophagy does for us. But in order to get to autophagy, cellular turnover, and clean out, we have to clean fast. So if you're fasting to reverse the signs of aging, autophagy is going to be the fast that you're really wanting to participate in, so you have this best opportunity. Side note here, or asterisk, however you want to identify that, there's no test for autophagy. So it's not like you can test your blood glucose or even ketones and go, oh, I'm in a state of autophagy. Autophagy is proven to you as the individual when you see the signs and symptoms of healing. So for a lot of us, reversing diabetic conditions, reversing insulin resistance, reversing wrinkles, reversing skin conditions, reversing weight problems, reversing aches and pains, all of those reversals are the proof that you need that autophagy is taking place. So if you're feeling those things, I always say lean on the side of that's working for you. If you're fasting for just the benefit of taking a break from food, and you're doing it for convenience purposes, or you're trying to create a more natural way to have a caloric deficit, we know the longevity benefits of that, then breaking your fast, or what's called dirty fasting, may not be a problem for you, as long as you're doing that from what I call the healed state. So you've already experienced this enough so that you're not constantly battling like the mindset or the physical conditions of things that you're unhappy with. So let's say you've been fasting and you've reached your goal weight. I would say that's a healed state. You're fasting, aches and pains are going away, arthritic conditions are gone, diabetic conditions are gone, blood work is coming back as quote unquote normal. Then you might have an opportunity to be in a state where you're not eating necessarily, but you might be able to afford to break up your dirty or fast on occasion, because you're not trying to reverse big things anymore. You're just trying to maintain. If you're fasting on occasion, so let's say you're maybe athletic, or you're going on a vacation, or you're doing something where fasting every day just doesn't make sense for you, or is it a decision that you're not willing to participate in, then fasting on occasion can also be very beneficial for us, because we are just putting our body in that state with the absence of a broken fast to maybe do some work or progress toward autophagy, and that is that getting to the place of being healed. Why are you fasting? Is it intermittently? Is it prolonged? Is it extended? Are you doing 3-day fasts? Are you doing 18 hours of fasting? Are you doing was it alternate day fasting, one meal day fasting? Like, what protocol are you going to choose? And that really is going to be, again, dependent on why are you fasting, right? And so these things need to make sense for the answer that you're getting from this question up here. And then what we like to refer to here is the trifecta approach. So fasting long enough to take advantage of this, feasting well enough to support your fast so you could take advantage of this, and then train smart enough so physically we stay in the game for our life looking forward, right? Because no sense in reversing the signs of aging, no sense in really healing our body so that we have many decades ahead of us to participate in if physically we're letting our body break down and not show up for us the way we want, right? So the trifecta approach is really what we shoot for here. So what does it mean to be in a fasted state, and what does it mean to dirty a fast? So let's talk about that. This is a diagram I share with you guys here all the time. This is when we start our new fast, and you know, if you're a tracker of fasting times and you hit the little timer, this is when you start your new fast. You've had your last exposure to something that's going to interrupt your body's normal chemical processes and makeup and or hormonal processes and makeup. So you're just going to stop all that, and that's basically when you start your fast. This time from starting your fast till about the 12-hour mark, we know, is just not eating. So your body's actually preparing itself to be in a fasted state. I like to call the fasted state when your insulin responses have halted because you're not doing anything to interrupt them, and you're actually at the place where your body is going to turn internally to utilize sources you have on the inside to get to that place of autophagy or healing. And that, we know from scientific data, starts at about the 12-hour mark. Again, scientific research has been shown that 13 hours of not eating anything, right, and getting yourself into that fasted state has been proven for women who are recovering from breast cancer or breast cancer survivors. If all they do is just not eat for 13 hours and get that extra 1 hour of being in that fasted state, the breast cancer recurrence has dropped dramatically. 13 hours, right? So again, why are you fasting? And then every hour that we stay in what I call this fasted state, meaning we're not having an insulin response or anything going on internally that's going to shift us from our natural chemical and hormonal makeup to something now that our body has to process, we benefit from what a fasted state is. Now, I want us to think about what happens at a 12-hour marker in our day, right? So for a lot of us, we might start our fast after eating, maybe 6 o'clock at night. And then we think what the 12-hour mark is. For a lot of us, that might be when we wake up. And this is the place right here that messes so many people up from, are you really fasting or are you just not eating? Because our brain doesn't make the connection between coffee creamer, artificial sweeteners, and all the things we've been told is okay to put in our coffee as the possible opportunity to break our fast, because we think, but I'm not eating, or I'm limiting my calories, or my body's not having to digest something. But this right here, this little X spot, is the critical spot in our fasted state. And the decisions we make there are really going to determine what our body is capable of doing until we actually get to our break fast point. Okay, but Diane, you said you can also dirty fast or momentarily break a fast. Yes, from a healed state, when insulin is now not the thing that's problematic to us women going through hormonal changes, and we've been able to reset how our body responds, right, and how insulin responds to decisions that we make, then you might have an opportunity to have a break fast maybe at the 16-hour mark. And then especially if you are someone who's taking advantage of the trifecta and you're putting some training in here where I call this an opportunity to drain your tanks, then you can get your insulin back to a level. It's going to respond appropriately through the exercise that you're going to do, that you can actually still benefit from the length of time that you were here because you didn't do any of this. So if you're feeling stuck, I want you to go back and think about what's going on in my body, right? Like chemically and hormonally, these are the things that we're not taught. We're just taught that food is bad or food is good, or restrict calories, or you have to just white knuckle it. And what's wrong with you? Do you not have any dedication or motivation? Or why are you not doing all the things other people are doing? And a lot of times it's just miscommunication, right? And if we understand this, and we understand this, and we understand what this means, then fasting is super fun. Fasting can be an opportunity for you to do whatever it is you want to do in your life, because you're going to love the way you're looking. You're going to love the way you feel. You're going to reverse some of those pain points that creep up on us when we're not paying attention to what's going on in our body. And you can have a very vibrant and full and happy and a very healthy life moving forward. But we do have to go back to the basic understanding of what's going on with our body, and then be really honest with ourselves. And are we in a fasted state really? Or are we just not eating? And then you have to ask yourself, why am I fasting in the first place? And the answer that you get when you ask yourself that question is really going to determine what you do in this opportunity right here. So I know there's a lot of confusion out there. I like to keep it down and dirty. I like to keep it very honest with you. And what I can tell you from my own personal experience and what I could tell you from the women who've graduated from the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course is that this makes sense and it makes life super easy. And you can have a life that you've always dreamed about in your retirement or in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever it is you are at in your life. You can have everything that you want, but you do have to make sure you're being honest with yourself and you're asking yourself the right questions, and then you're showing up appropriately. Okay, so let's see what we got here in the questions and or comments. And then remember, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, this is all the stuff I walk you through. I teach you how to go back to just being honest with yourself and not doing anything in a desperate or a kind of knee-jerk reaction kind of way. Everything I teach you is in a very well thought out manner. I teach you how to incorporate this lifestyle for yourself so that you don't have to spend a bunch of money on gadgets and quick fix things and all the things. Like I reversed my pre-diabetic state by doing this and really figuring out some of the foods that were causing me some problems and just understanding how my new body was functioning. And then you just establish this really great, healthy relationship with yourself. So registration's open. Come on in. I love on you in class. It is super fun. You're going to make a bunch of new friends. And I teach it in a way nobody else is teaching it here in this industry. Andrea, on Monday, you mentioned that you had gotten pre-diabetic diagnosis when you were entering into menopause, and they went hand in hand. Can you explain that a little more? Appreciate you. Yeah, I think I explained that. So my hormones were changing, and insulin was just that thing that just kind of got out of whack, and that's basically where it all starts. Most of us, again, this is where we're not taught these things, have been, taking care of ourselves in the wrong way because we were just given bad information. And so insulin resistance is really the precursor to any kind of diabetic condition. So it's the pre-diabetes. And many of us are suffering from insulin resistance. And we know that now because so many of us women have been battling that last, 10 or 15 pounds that we lose and gain and lose and gain and lose and gain and lose and gain. And it's just because our body is not responding well to the choices that we're making for it. And so many of us have been in this insulin resistance stage for most of our adult life. And then that just ends up morphing into the diabetic conditions as our hormones change. So it's very innocently done. I mean, it was innocent for me. I was in shock when I got the diagnosis. And I was like, nope, we're going to handle this and we're going to reverse it. And so that's really what I teach, is that experience that I had for you guys. Carmen, so looking forward to having you here with us, my friend. I always love when you pop up with us. Jan, August 22 grad, I usually reach ketosis in about 17 to 19 hours of fasting, but sometimes I don't. Would this usually be because of just eating too many carbs at dinner and not exercising enough? Yeah, it could be. Remember, our body's constantly in motion and it's constantly working on the inside, and we have no idea what's going on. So I say, if you can reach a state of ketosis, then you're doing great things. Being in a state of ketosis 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year is not necessary. And we're now finding that it's not always the best approach for our body as well. So, yeah, your body's just doing other things, or maybe something is just, responding in a different way. And I would say, don't test every day. Just trust that the decisions you're making on rinse and repeat are going to give you the result that you were hoping for. And that takes some of that pressure off of you thinking something's wrong with your body. Being in ketosis every single day is not what we need to be in. We need to let our body manage, what the choices that we're making in a more natural way, is, I guess, the best way to say it. How do you know you're in ketosis? You have to, GD, you have to test for it, or there's signs and signals. So I use a Keto Mojo to see if I'm in ketosis. I test maybe a couple of days a month. I don't test every day. I trust that the things that I'm doing in my life on rinse and repeat are just doing the things that I need them to do for me. And so you can test. It's blood glucose and ketone monitoring is what it is. And so that's what we do for glucose and ketone testing. And then there's signs and signals. So a metallic taste in your mouth usually means you're kind of en route to being fat adapted. The energized sense of calm is what we call being in a state of ketosis, or like getting into those fat utilization type of environments as well. So this is going to just tell you what's in your blood, but there's other signs and signals as well. But yeah, Jen, Keto Mojo test tells me for sure. Carmen, I never know if I'm in ketosis. Should I? I don't know. Testing is one of those things that I always say is very personality driven. And I've been through every aspect of my personality with testing. And so what I really like to teach women is it's always nice to have the opportunity to get to test and not have to test. So if you're diabetic, you have to test your blood glucose to monitor your medication, right? And so I always look at this as an opportunity, as something I get to do. I don't have to do. And I use this as a way to prove what I'm doing is actually working internally for my system. And I also use this as a way to test some things out. So if I'm going to make some changes, did the change result in what I wanted it to do internally for my body? So Carmen, if you want to get more information about the Keto Mojo, there's a link in my description box that has a discount code for our community, or you can reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll kind of share my thoughts with you on that one as well. I'm still learning about it. Yeah. Okay. So when I first started testing with the Keto Mojo, I was, as I usually am with a lot of things, a little obsessive about it. And it can be expensive because every test strip that you use costs you money. The initial purchase is, the one that I recommend is pretty economical because you get a lot to start with. But if you're testing several times a day, every single day, you have to replace those strips. So what I like to teach is trust that what you're doing, once you get to where you want to go, if you're just going to rinse and repeat the lifestyle that you're living, you're going to get the result you're hoping for because your body's in that healed state. You do not have to test every single day if you trust yourself. Again, we have to go back to that mindset approach. Are you doing the things that are going to lead you to the result you're hoping for? Why are you fasting, right? And if you're doing those things, that you could trust that your body's going to pay you back in kind. That's what I love to think about with my Keto Mojo. Oh, okay, a device. Yes, for sure. Susan, please send me info on the next class. Susan, you have to go and get yourself on my email list. I can't do that anymore. So let me type it in, and I can't talk when I type it in because I will misspell something. I think I got it. I'm going to put the link to get more information in the description. In the comment section for you. It's for todaysagingwoman.com. Find out more. You can go get on my email list. You have to opt in. I can't legally send you emails without you opting in. So there's the link for that. Get on my email list, and then you can sign in right when you get on my email list if you're ready. Lori, hi, September grad here, current mindset member, finally able to catch a live again. So good to have you, my friend. We get to meet up tonight if you're free, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, midlife mindset shift, live coaching call. Great subject tonight. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you there on our live call. Tammy, visited family last weekend, throwing off my IF schedule. However, your advice after Thanksgiving to have an exit strategy worked great. Came home, did a 40-hour fast to detox, and got back on track. There you go. There you go. And for some people, 40-hour fast is great. That's definitely some autophagy getting there. But I start my exit strategy even before I leave. So by the time I get home, I'm already where I need to go. And you get to design your exit strategy any way that works for you. So congratulations. Felicia, November grad. I know it is not related to today's topic, but I've had trouble sleeping. I have to be mindful now of my caffeine intake. Do you have any recommendations? I'm doing 24. So here's the deal. Why are we needing caffeine? So let's go back to that thing that we did at the beginning. Why are you fasting, right? So a lot of times we need caffeine, right? So why are you needing caffeine? Because we can't get started on our own. So we need a jump start of energy. When you're fasting well, you're feasting well, you're training smart, your body's in a healed state. What if you didn't need caffeine? And that's the problem. So your body does create its own internal energy sources, and then you're adding a little extra energy on top of that. So what I would do is take a test. I would get rid of caffeine for a week and see how your sleep is. I haven't had any, I've been really watching my caffeine this week as well. My sleep has been incredible. So where you're probably double dosing yourself with energy. One's natural and internal, one's external and not natural, meaning that you're putting it in your body and you're getting the double whammy. It's causing you to not get some good sleep. So give it a test. Take it away. Leona, hi, Diane and everyone. I plan to take your January course. Girlfriend, I cannot wait to have you with us. We're going to start on December 31st. So get yourself ready. As soon as you register, You will get the downloads. So you'll get the intermittent feasting guide, the intermittent fasting guide. So you can kind of look through all those, get yourself in the right mindset for class. And then we're all going to kick off a new year together. And I'm super, super excited about that. And I have a cool little surprise that I'm going to have for you guys in the January 2023 class that you'll find out about when you get in class. So super excited. Fasting can be fun, said with excitement. That statement just made my heart skip a beat. You're right. Yes, it's supposed to be fun. Like, I look at fasting every single day as like a new opportunity to do great things. And it isn't always physique related or even health related. Like, sometimes it's like, if I have to do a lot of like mental, like sit down at my desk computer work, a good long fast is the best way to have the best mental clarity and energy for me. So I use fasting for all things. And when we look at it from that standpoint, that fasting can be fun. I treat it like a hobby. I just love it. And so when we look at it that way, as opposed to like, we're doing this to lose fat, or we're doing this because we don't like things about our body, or we're doing this because we have to, or we're doing this like a diet, we're doing this for all the negative reasons, then it's a drag, just like all the other negative things. So create a positive mindset around it, and it'll be the best thing that ever happened to you. I promise. Great refresher today. Thank you. You're welcome, Carmen. Tina, just checking in. I'm still rinsing and repeating. Thank you for clarifying fasting versus just not eating. November 2022 grad. Yeah, I should probably add this lesson to the class. I don't think I break it down in this specific way, but there is a big difference between fasting, like truly, really fasting to get your body in a fasted state chemically and hormonally, and just not eating. So sitting down with a placemat and a salad fork and a fork and a knife and a spoon and a plate and all that, like, you don't have to do that. Like it's bigger than that. Like, so just because you're not sitting down with a proper place setting doesn't mean that you're going to be fasting. There's a big difference. And I hope that that was clear with what I just said there, because I think I got a little bit confused myself. So fasted state is what we're searching for. Leona, I don't drink coffee past 12 p.m. That helped me with insomnia. Yeah, I even have to keep it below 12 p.m. Like, if I don't have coffee or caffeine, it has to be like around 10 a.m. for me. Or else I'm just like, I'm laying in bed, like mentally awake, and that's not good. And I track my sleep score so I can see the difference for sure. Becky, so basically just stop putting stuff in my coffee and stay in a fasted state for more hours. Exactly. A fasted state. So a lot of people there, and it's usually, I would, to their defense, a lot of younger people talking about fasting say this is not a problem. Well, of course it's not a problem for them, because they haven't had the hormonal changes. Or there are a lot of men experts who say this isn't a problem because they're not experiencing estrogen and insulin problems, right? So it's not a problem for everyone. It's a problem for aging women transitioning through hormonal changes, and that's just because of hormones. That's all it is. The only thing that changed for me was my hormone shifting as I was transitioning through menopause, and it was the kind of the end stage of menopause. And so when I figured all this out, it made sense. And then you have to test it out. The biggest thing I hear from women who are really struggling and frustrated with the advice that they're getting that doesn't apply to them is, I will do anything to accept, I'll do anything to lose weight. I'll do anything to lose the body fat. I'll do anything to heal my gut. I'll do anything, like all those things, except give up my coffee creamer. Right. And why are we holding on so tightly to one little innocent thing that hits our fasted state at the prime opportunity for us to take advantage of fasting? We just ruined it right there with coffee creamer. Coffee creamer is just that thing we got to learn to give up. Lynn, can I take caffeine tablets and taper down as I get bad headaches and even migraines when I tried to quit? Yeah, so for you specifically with the migraine situation, caffeine is one of those things that just easily helps with migraines. So I would figure out, and I'm sure you've probably already done this, but like something's going on in your life, or more importantly, probably around your life. There could be something in your environment that's causing you to have those migraines. So yeah, 100%. If you don't want to continue to take the caffeine, you have to do both sides of the work, right? See if you can taper off the caffeine and figure out what's going on in your life to causing those migraines. And then you can have the best of both of those worlds. But you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have debilitating migraines because you thinking, you want to get off caffeine, if caffeine is the thing that's helping you. So there are such things that I call tools versus crutches. Tool for you, Lynn, is the caffeine helping you manage your migraines. but there might be some little crutch going on in your life too that could be contributing to why you have the migraines, which is why you have to take the caffeine. It's amazing and it's fascinating. Treat it like a hobby. Become your own researcher, become your own experiment and science project, and see if you can get to the bottom of that. And then let us know so we can tell others. Gwen, hi Diane, finally made a live video. I love the way I'm feeling with fasting, November 22 grad. Awesome, girlfriend. And hopefully you were able to get into your account today. I know you emailed me earlier. Sue had a couple of non-crazed minutes. Glad to be listening live. Girlfriend, it is so good to see you, my friend. And I know you're probably freezing. Are you guys getting the blizzard up in Boston as well? So good to see your face here, my friend. I always miss you when you're off busy doing life. Desiree, October grad. I've been doing 24 since September, down almost 20 pounds. My question is, I have terrible hot flashes that I'd hoped would go away through IF, but haven't. Could this be that I have lots of healing, or maybe it's just not something that I will benefit from? I know you don't know, but I'd love your thoughts on it. So I'll tell you, Desiree, from if I was you. So October grad, so that means you've been out of class for 6 weeks. Your body might have some healing going on inside that you're unaware of. I say congratulations. There's healing that goes on that we don't ever want to be aware of. This poof, make it go away when we do all the things that we know make that happen. So give yourself the time and the grace for that to do its job. Hot flashes can also be those innocent little things that you still have in your life that you haven't made the connection to. So I would go around your environment and make sure that every single thing is free of a lot of those things that keep us in a state of hormonal balance. So it's soy in every aspect. So read every single label: shampoo, conditioner, skincare, lotion, cough syrup, supplements, chewing gum, tuna fish, mayonnaise, like everything. Make sure that you're monitoring and managing gluten. Gluten is still that thing that comes up for me, and I slide it in every now and then I get a new kind of reaction to gluten, so it never hits me the same way. It used to be blisters on my foot. It used to be water retention, and now I get like eczema. I get eczema up here and crusty eczema under here every single time I let gluten slip in. So do I want to walk around with a crusty eczema face? Not really. So I have to be very diligent about it, or else I'm going to have to manage that. And so that's where you have to make those really hardcore decisions. Do you want to get rid of those hot flashes? And then you have to figure out what's causing you, Desiree, the woman who's an individual, what's causing you those hot flashes. And it's usually something in your environment, because the fasting part is going to help you balance some things out. And I would stick to that 20, squeaky clean, and then do your research on the other aspects. It's not always the food. Sometimes it's our environment. Plastic shower curtains, drinking out of plastic cups, what are some of those hormone disruptors? Air fresheners in your house, all those things have got to go. Test it out and then see if you can find the culprit for sure. But you can benefit from it for sure. Juana, hello. Lynn, I had hypertension at the beginning of menopause. Doctor elected to not start on meds, but put me on bioidentical hormones, and it worked. I no longer have hypertension nor take anything. Yeah. So, I always say hormone replacement therapy is personal. So always make sure you talk it over with your doctor. Make sure you talk it over with your family. Make sure you're clear on the benefits and the risks of it. And I know there's a camp that's on both sides and all sides of that. So I'm not here to get into that. And it works for some and it doesn't work for others. So glad it worked for you. DB, November 22, IF grad. Hello, love your informative and direct teaching. Thank you, my friend. Margie, that's a beautiful, I hope I sounded that out correctly. Margie, what a beautiful way to spell your name. I have done a lot of reading and know about clean fasting. I'm struggling to implement what I already know. I'm wondering about what kind of support there is for someone like me, age 65, good health, got 30 pounds to release. Margie, the best support you can get is by joining us inside the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course. I take you behind the scenes. You get a lesson every single day. We have all age groups, women from all over the world with all different experiences coming into class, and we all leave with the same mindset, and that is we have the opportunity to heal ourselves and live our most authentic life. So I would love to have you in class, and I support you while you're there. I'm in the community group with you. I answer your questions in the community group and make sure you're supported along the way. And then you get to come back in February and say you're a January 2023 Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman grad. So make sure you find the link. It's fortodaysagingwoman.com. Find out more, get in class with us, and we'll reverse all that and help you lose that 30 pounds. There are even days I don't drink any caffeine and still feel the same. Yeah. Sleep habits. Here's the deal. Everyone is having sleep issues these days. Everyone is, right? And so we have to figure out why that is. What's going on in our life, like habits, being on a phone, watching TV too late, eating too late. Like there's all these different reasons for why we're suffering from insomnia or inability to sleep. Probably is the better way to go. So you have to really, if you really want to get your sleep habits or get your sleep in a better position, you have to look at all aspects of it. And then just, be really diligent about setting a routine so that you can reverse that. Robin, what are your thoughts about estradiol or menopausal issues? Sorry for a little off topic. I say that's a very personal thing that every woman has to come to the conclusion for yourself. Do your research, risks, benefits, all those kind of things. I don't have any feelings about that at all whatsoever. So you got to figure that out for you. Desiree, I work out 4 days a week. Awesome, girlfriend. That is the best. Did I miss it? What is rinse and repeat? I say rinse and repeat. And yes, so many people come back and they're like, that came from like the shampoo industry or the dishwashing industry or whatever. I say rinse and repeat because it's an easy way for you to get like a picture in your mind that when you find what works for you, you just rinse and repeat. So I use that phrase all the time in my life. I'm a very routine driven person. I'm a very goal driven person. I'm probably a very A-type personality. And so when I find what works for me, I rinse and repeat it. I just keep it in rotation. And then I use memory making moments and special occasions to enjoy other things in life. So that's what rinse and repeat is. I also do almost no dairy. Yeah, for sure. Leona, Felicia, I also found some YouTube channels and play relaxing ambient music. Yeah, there's so much information there about sleep habits and sleeping better and sleep apps and calm and meditation before you go to sleep. So that is always an indication that you're not alone. So many people are struggling with sleep issues today. And look at the world we're living in right now, right? And so I would do some research on that for sure. That's the link to get on my email list and or just get yourself registered for a class. 2 things we always get feedback from in our community from women. 1, I sat on the fence too long and just didn't jump in when I knew this is what I needed to do. And 2, you didn't go all in when you got into class. So jump off the fence and decide to go all in. I promise everything else will fall into place. Mel, September 22 grad, doing 24. I am now able to listen to my body when I eat something. My body lets me know. I just never paid attention. I'm very aware now. Thank you, Diana community. Yeah. And that's one of my biggest lessons that I teach and really reinforce in classes. I don't know what your body is telling you, right? And so if you're still having hot flashes, that's your body telling you something's still in the environment or something's still going on that we need to pinpoint to get rid of for you so you don't have hot flashes. If you're having sleep issues, that's your body telling you something's still going on that's not working for your body. You need to get to the bottom line of that kind of thing. And so if you're not getting into ketosis and you think you should be, there's something going on in your environment or something in the decision-making process that's keeping you from getting what it is you say you really want. And that's where you're worth the time and energy to figure that out. Andrea, great info was always very helpful and eye-opening. I'm waiting for blood work to come back and very curious what feedback I will get from it. Thank you for all you do. Big heart eyes. Oh, I love it. And then let me know how your blood work turned out. We have a thing here in our community that we run to the doctor's office like this for our annual appointment. Like, take it, and tell me, reinforce for me that everything that I am doing is working. And for a lot of us, we used to drag ourselves to the doctor's office like, oh, I don't want to go in. I don't know what he's going to tell me or she's going to tell me. Like, and now we go in like, yo, doc, do the blood work. We can't wait for the results to come back. We're super excited. Same thing with dentist appointments, right? We run into the dentist appointment. We're like, hi, Janice, do your thing, girl. It's going to be an easy one for you today. I'm doing all the work. And that's how aging should be. We shouldn't dread going to the doctor. We should go with a mindset of, I'm going to prove to my doctor that I'm the outlier, right? We do not want to be average aging women in any aspect of what aging is defined as from society. We are the outliers creating a new dialogue about how aging can be, because we're living proof that it's possible. And that's what we do here. And girlfriend, I cannot wait to hear from you. Pamela, 24 fasting for life. Yes, my friend. Love it. Safanda, November 22 grad. Where can I get the information about the live call chat? The Midlife Mindset Shift course and community. Shafanda, you should have gotten an email when registration was open for you to join us in December. No worries. I'm going to open up registration for you guys to come in from either January to June or January to December. Registration for that's going to be open to you next week. So keep an eye out in your inbox. Make sure you get emails from me, and then you'll get an invitation to come in with us. It's a great group, solid graduates coming into class with us from the intermittent fasting course who just want to do deeper mindset shift work. And it's a 6-month or year-long, it's kind of like a mastermind membership where we do 2 weekly calls that are live, and I help you kind of get to the bottom of some of the things that are keeping you stuck. I love it. I love all of our communities and courses here. And it's a super fun extension. Famil, I think it is. How or should you adjust fasting during times of high stress, death of a family member, job loss, etc.? Okay, so my philosophy is this, and I'm sorry that you're struggling through something stressful, is when in doubt, fast it out. So oftentimes as a society, we are told that, or we are conditioned to turn to food and drinks to pacify feelings or push feelings down, because that's what they do. They change your hormonal and chemical makeup of your body, and they kind of allow you to numb out through that response. And so my philosophy is during stressful times or tough times mentally, tough times emotionally, issues with work, whatever it is, fast it out, because you're going to get the clearest opportunity and the cleanest opportunity to make mental and emotional decisions, because you're not influenced by outside factors, i.e. chemical and hormonal responses caused by food and drink. So I say fast it out. That's how I would respond to anything that I was going through that was stressful. I would drink lots of water. I would make sure that when I did feast, I feasted to support what it is I want to be on the other side of the stressful situation. We look at stressful situations as a short term, and then we don't think about the long-term effects of the damage we do to ourselves when we're not feeling 100%. So I would say fast it out, feast well, get your body moving, do some really good thought work, and get yourself through it, because you will get through it. And on the other side of that stressful situation, who do you see yourself showing up as? And that's what you're working for. How do you see yourself showing up when the stressful situation is settled, or time has passed, or you've healed through the grieving process, or whatever it is you're going through? How do you see yourself on the other side of that? And that's what I would shoot for sure. Felicia, you're welcome. So Fonda, November 20 grad, and I need to register to attend the January class. Yeah, girlfriend, make sure you're on my email list. If you're not sure if you're on my email list, go to fortodaysagingwoman.com and just join the email list. And that'll kind of get you back, for me to be back on the front end, hopefully, of your inbox. Leona, you're welcome, my friend. Yay for 2003 to 23 and class. It's going to be super fun. And then when you're graduates, you get to be invited to the midlife mindset shift course, which is fun as well. Becky, that was too funny. Yes, that's me. I will do anything except give up coffee creamer. It's not funny. Like, I know it is funny. Like, it sounds funny because coffee creamer is such a simple little thing in our life, but it's a serious thing. Like, there are people who will do anything except give up their coffee creamer, and it's the number one thing holding you back. It's the number one thing holding you back. A simple little thing like coffee creamer, which is also a nuisance, right? Because if you're like, I can't have my coffee without coffee creamer, and you got to go run to the store and make sure you got your coffee creamer, it just simplifies your life. Just drink your coffee black, girlfriend. It is so good. When you break the habit of needing, here's what I like to create a visual for about coffee and creamer is, I used to drink coffee creamer as well until my doctor told me it was liquid cancer. And I was like, okay, that was enough. I need to hear no more. But I would drink my coffee creamer. I'd pour my coffee creamer in my coffee, and then I would have to warm up my coffee from the coffee pot in the microwave because I put creamer in it and it cooled it down. And so then I had to warm it back up, and then I could literally take a nap, because that's what sugar does to me. So the response my body had from whatever was in that coffee creamer, even if it has little sugar or no sugar, the insulin response that my body created from putting that into my body would put me to sleep. Why am I drinking coffee? So a lot of times we use coffee as the excuse to have dessert in the morning. So Becky, if you think that was funny, think about this. Coffee is the excuse people use to have dessert in the morning. Like mimosas are the excuse we use to have alcohol first thing in the morning, or Bloody Marys or whatever. Convenient little societal thing that we've created, right? Which is causing us so much pain and grief about how it is we're showing up in our life, health-wise and weight-wise and all the things. Robin, Becky Fairless, I love you are on here. Oh, I love that. We have friends. Devora, migraines. I read this morning, hands, feet in hot water, pan, ice pack on neck. Well, there you go. Mirjana, I think it is. Finally caught you live. Hello from Croatia. Well, hello, my friend. There's so much info out there, and I'm so glad I found you. I have registered for the January class. I cannot wait to have you in class with us. This is what I'm saying, you guys. International base of women are benefiting. So it's not a geographic problem that we women are having. All women from around the world are having these struggles because we're all built the same, right? All of us going through this process are built the same. But then we also need to think like Mirjana, I hope I said that correctly, and I also are very individual, right? So what we go through as far as menopause, no matter where you are in the world, it's the same process, right? Of the decreasing of our sex hormones and other hormones being out of balance and all the things. Like that's how we were designed. But what she's going to experience and what I'm going to experience are completely different things. So that's where we need to take the responsibility to really get intimate with ourselves, listen to the signs and signals our body is sending us, because Mirjana is going to have a completely different reaction to things than I am because my DNA is just different from hers. So it's very general, but then we have to make sure we also understand it's very individual. And that's what I teach you in class. Girlfriend, I'm so excited to have you. Devora, hello, my friend. Lynn, thank you. Makes sense, especially if vascular. Yes. Leona, welcome. Mirjana. Yes. Welcome her to the community. You guys are going to be classmates. How fun is that? Becky, rinse and repeat is what I used to be on a shampoo bottles years ago. Love all you do. Thank you. Yeah, I know that. And that's where I got the term from. But for me, I have to do things and implement mantras and sayings that make sense for my brain, right? So when I figure out food that works for me, I just rinse and repeat it, because there's too many things in life to worry about to try to figure out brand new things to eat every single day when what I'm did worked. So I'm a mantra girl for sure. Becky, I love you are on here too, and I love you. Wow, I love it. You guys are friends and you're on here together. It's the best. Juana, hello. Leona, I remember that in the 1970s. Yeah, I think it was a dish soap commercial too that did it. Glad I got you live. Crystal Palace, London, November graduate. Girlfriend, so good to have you here with us. Desiree, thank you. You're welcome. Rosa, since I started my fasting on October 2022, best thing ever, November graduate. It is the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. It's super fun. It's economical. It's time saving. We are in this little community of women who are all living our best lives. It's the best place to be, for sure. You pronounce it beautifully. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. And I'm glad I got it right. With the name of DY space capital ANN, I really do try to make sure that I pay attention to people's spellings and I do my best to pronounce it correctly and or at least ask to make sure I got it right. So super happy to have you here with us. Len, I'm excited to sign up for class in January. Yes, I'm excited to have you. You are going to love it. YouTube user, I'm almost 64 and I found a portable infrared sauna has really benefited me from detoxing and relaxing. Well, there you go. Creekinator, the course has a very reasonable price. Well, thank you for saying that. I feel the same way. My goal is to really make what I teach accessible to anyone wherever you are. So I appreciate that comment for sure. Jan, August 22 grad, my sleep has radically improved from 24, and I believe it's because of the gallon of water I drink as early in the day as I can. Yeah, getting that water in, hydration is a big key too. So Becky, will autophagy reverse aging, do you think, or just slow it down? It depends on how you define reverse aging, right? So do I feel like I'll ever have the skin of a 20-year-old again? Nope. Do I feel like I will always look younger than I am? 100%. Do I feel like I always will feel younger than I am? 100%. Do I, so you have to just kind of make sure that you're defining aging, appropriately for what you're looking for. I definitely feel like I have benefited from a lot of the signs and signals of reversing aging, because I feel like $1,000,000. I have energy. I can work out, other than occasionally throwing my back out, which is been the case since I was in my teens. Like, so yeah, I do, because remember, the way aging has been defined as a disease. Who wants that, right? And so if you can get a handle on how you age for you and what you think aging is, then yeah, you can reverse a lot of the problems, right? And it's just basically we start losing things as we age, and I don't think it has to be that way. So I believe it's reversing for sure. Ritu, hi, I have been diagnosed with adrenal fatigue. So should I do fasting or not? Thank you. I love your videos. So here's my answer to that always. You can put adrenal fatigue in or any other problem that you're looking to fasting to solve. If you were not fasting and you also have adrenal fatigue, then why would fasting be a problem for you? Now, if you were fasting and then you feel like fasting was the result of you now having adrenal fatigue, yeah, you might want to look into some other things, but I say give it a shot. I think the reason that people give the warning about fasting and adrenal fatigue is because adrenal fatigue is associated with stress and cortisol. And fasting is also a stressor, but fasting can be a very positive stressor on our body. And it all really depends on how you go into it emotionally, mentally, and physically. So if you go into fasting believing that it's the solution to your adrenal fatigue and you do things in a very well thought out way, and you don't do it from a panic mindset, you do it from a I'm in control of this mindset, then it could be the thing that you're missing that could help you with your adrenal fatigue. So it always depends on you and how you approach it for sure, which is why I teach it from the mindset aspect. Aisha, I believe it is. My blood sugar levels went down from 5.9 to 5.8 to 4.9 or sometimes lower. Scandinavian chart when I started fasting 16 to 20 hours a day. Yeah, there you go. Because that's what fasting does. Exactly. Patty, I'm an outlier. How fun. Yes, we all of us who are practicing this lifestyle and not accepting the way aging is defined by society. We're all outliers. So we should start an outliers club. That would be fun. Can I take the January beginner class and the mindset at the same time? I highly recommend not, because I need you to be comfortable and confident with what you're doing inside the intermittent fasting course. And then we take it to the next level in the midlife mindset shift course. I let one person join the midlife mindset shift course without graduating from the intermittent fasting course. And it was the biggest mistake I've ever made for her and me. I felt like I cheated her, and I promised I would never do that again. And so the way it's being taught now, you do need to be a graduate and you need to do them as a graduate. So you'll be invited to come in February, girlfriend. The thing that we want to remember about all of this is we have time. Don't rush it. Enjoy every single day of the process as you're in that day. Joe, I just don't have my coffee until my fasting is over. And since I use heavy cream, which has no sugar, and treat it as a dessert. Yeah, you get to decide that for sure. If you can handle the coffee in the afternoon or when you break your fast, 100. Yes, coffee with French vanilla. Girl, I was a hazelnut coffee creamer girl, and it was definitely a dessert in the morning, and it was the worst habit I had, and I'm so glad I broke that one. Dawn, how large is the next class? I have no idea because registration is still open. The size of the class never matters. It's how you show up for class, because I promise you, no matter how many women we have in class, there will be a group of women who don't show up, and you'll never see them and you never hear from them. And then there'll be the ones that always stand out, and they come and they comment and they participate and they go all in. And so the size of the class never matters. What matters is how you show up when you're in class. Is the biggest thing for sure. But they're always the perfect size is what I say. Linda, August 22 grad, ladies, you all want to feel better. My mantra is a goal without a plan is just a wish. Goals are meaningless without a system in place to achieve those goals. Yeah, for sure. That's why we have the class. Love it. Diana, so is the cookie dough midday square better than the peanut butter? Not even close to being the same. So peanut butter and the fudge, which they just changed, have been my two favorites. Cookie dough is completely different. It tastes just like cookie dough. The outside is crunchy, and the base of it, the cookie dough part of it, is just like the texture and taste of raw cookie dough. completely different. I wouldn't compare the two ever. They're just totally different. Where is the course and what website? ForTodaysAgingWoman.com is where you want to go to find out more about the course. It is hosted and housed on my website, ForTodaysAgingWoman.com. You have a course you log into every single day, 3 weeks of lessons, a community group. You get 30 days access to me as your coach inside the course. I don't shove you off onto an assistant or an expert or what. It's me. So you get to spend 30 days with me. So, and it's all in your www.fortodaysagingwoman.com login. Super fun, super easy. Sylvia, we need to discuss your international audience. Have you thought of translating at least the IF course to other languages like German? I have been asked to do so, but have not yet thought about that. And that's just because I have my hands in a lot of fires right now and just be one of those things that would kind of take me off. And quite honestly, I wouldn't even know how to start and where to go to do that. So keep reminding me. And then when I get to a place when I can do that, I will 100% do that for sure. YouTube user, my neuropath doctor has said to practice 6-second breathing in bed. And when thoughts start coming, yeah, there's count sheep, all kinds of things. That's why I say, like, if you're having problems sleeping, go find some methods that people are recommending for that. It's not fasting, right? There's other things going on in your life and you're probably just more aware of it because you've settled some other things. Marjana, you make it sound so exotic. The J is pronounced like a Y. It's pronounced Mirana. Is it like a Y? Miriana. Hopefully I got that right. You can help me when you get in class. Genti, you're welcome. Regina, thank you. You're welcome. B, how does soy affect your hormones? It's a phytoestrogen, and it's not so much soy in its natural state, although for me it is. For some people, it's not. It's where it's placed in ingredients as additives and cheap fillers. So soy lecithin, soybean oil used for cooking, and it doesn't handle heat well, those kind of things. And so I had an experience with some skincare that had soy in it, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I felt like I was in my first trimester of pregnancy. This was just like about 3 years ago. I was just a mess hormonally. And then I did a deep dive into their ingredients and found that there was soy in it, washed my face, immediately felt better. And within a couple of days, I went back to my normal self. So for a lot of women in menopause, soy is the thing that's kind of keeping them out of balance. Hazelnut was my drug of choice too. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was like you pour it in, the coffee would turn white. You put it in the microwave, you sit down. It's like the best dessert ever. No wonder we ended up with, fat issues and weight issues, and me, it was brain issues and all kinds of issues. And it was coffee creamer. Like, it just ruined everything in my fasted state for sure. Cricketer. You're welcome, my friend. I think I trip on that every single time. Okay, so that's it for today. 56 minutes of community conversation. I love you guys. I love that you're participating in the comment section. It is super fun for me. I always say, as an extrovert, this fills my soul. I love being able to come live with you guys, answer your questions, recognize you as success stories and outliers and all the things. So thank you for filling my heart and soul today with all the energy and enthusiasm and questions that you guys have. I love it. And I love being able to have the opportunity to do this with you guys. I will see you guys back here on Monday at noon Central Standard Time. We'll talk about something else related to us as an aging woman community of outliers. And if you're interested in class, please go to fortodaysagingwoman.com. I promise you, I will take great care of you. All the aha moments will happen in class, and then you get to come back in our community and have a dialogue with us as a graduate. It is super fun. This live is very generous of you. Thanks for all your time. You're welcome, my friend. Let me tell you guys really quick, now at 57 minutes, super quick. When I was going through my struggles as an aging woman with pre-diabetic conditions and 20 pounds overweight and all the body fat accumulating on my body and my memory going away and just everything going downhill, I was depressed. It was a mess. It was horrible. No one was talking about this. And I vowed to myself at the time that when I find a solution, I'm not going to be quiet about it. So I come live here so that you know someone cares. I don't think any of you are crazy. I didn't think I was crazy. There's no need to suffer. I have a solution, and I'm here to help you guys understand you have a solution too. So I will always show up for you because I care, and I want you to know that there's someone who's here to listen and understands you and gives you big virtual hugs. You shouldn't have to go through this in a way that doesn't feel good, and we have a community that's here to support you. So you're never going to be alone for sure. Okay, with that being said, I am going to run. I will see you guys on, like I said, on Monday. No live on Instagram tomorrow. I'm taking a break for a couple of weeks to do some things with my family. But if you want to catch me on Instagram, you can do that on Thursday and then get registered for class. Can't wait to see you.